Hi, Jimmy. My name is Joel Stevens. I'm president of More Command Productions. We do a lot of independent films as well as public domain films, most of which are hosted by attractive hosts of the female gender. I have two Roku channels. One is called Morca TV, that is Morca TV, and that's available on several Roku platform, and I have another one called More2C, that's MOR, the number 2C TV, and that is a fast channel also seen on Roku. So if you want to see any of my content, then check out both of those Roku channels, and let's go from there.
I never really talked to you, but I appreciated you showing my movie on your show.
Sure.
Are you still trying to do the show, or putting a different one together?
I put Sprockets and Splices on hiatus for a while. I finished up with 100 episodes.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. But it was getting more and more difficult to find short films.
I got tons of them, man.
I know. I could have a Jimmy Fest or a marathon.
Yeah, I know. You don't want to put the same person over and over again. You want to spread out so you can get their people that are connected to them and build. That's why I'm actually doing the podcast, and then they can promote whatever they want to promote. But at least their people know me, and people that I know them.
Right.
I know you said you reached a lot of viewers in Texas when you were showing Human Hunter on your show.
Yes.
But
weirdest movie ever.
That thing was just done just because we had a camera and just actually, Human Hunters was done for the whole purpose of my dad was tearing down the shed. And I was like, okay, he's tearing down the shed. Let's punch through the walls. We can destroy it. We could do anything. So basically, the movie was done just because of that. And a lot of my movies were. If you ever seen Welcome Home, it's a feature. The whole movie is based around one scene that we shot because they were demolishing my uncle's house. And I went there with an actor, and we were like kicking in the walls and stuff like that. And then I wrote a script building all the way around that movie because of that one scene. It's called Consequences. But that whole movie was based because a house burnt down 2 houses from me, and I got video footage of the house burning. So I used that and built the movie around it to where one of the people lit the house on fire. So you gotta use what you got.
Absolutely. While I was continuing on with Sprockets and Splices, I went ahead, someone said, well, why don't we do some full movies? I have a friend who had written and starred in his own movie, feature length, which was a spoof of another television series called Dark Shadows. And so he and a friend of his, David, had written a movie script and went ahead and filmed it here in Texas. Let's go ahead and just start a series. And so I came up with Pale Moonlight Theater, and it was based on watching the original Batman movie where the Joker asked the young Bruce Wayne, have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?
Yeah.
And I go, well, that's a heck of a name for a TV series, Pale Moonlight. So, and it fit. So we did a lot of horror shows and some sci-fi shows, and we did 2 seasons, about 25 episodes of that. And one of his friends, Jimmy, is a single action shooting world champion. And he goes, why don't we do some Westerns? So why not? And so we did, between he and another host, we wound up doing 72 episodes of Westerns.
That's pretty good.
This is where it got to be fun for me. When I grew up, which was in northwest Florida, we lived on a farm, and we were pretty much just abjectly poor. We had no running water, no electricity, no phone. We had an outhouse. We had to draw water from the well, all that stuff. Mom and Dad would take us and drop my brother and I off at the theater, and back then you could with young kids. And every movie always started with a cartoon and a movie serial. And I go, well, that's what I'm going to do. We're going to do Westerns, but it's going to be like when I grew up. We'll do a cartoon and a movie serial.
Yeah, you got to do what, whatever your passion is and what you know about.
The Splice movies were all independent filmmakers like yourself, and so they would submit their films, and I would get a hostess, actually a female, and we wound up, about 30 different, maybe 40 different hosts.
But how'd you get it? How'd you get your own show? I mean, you screened it on like public access, right?
No, actually, a friend of mine said, you have some money, why don't we get in the television business? And so we wound up buying a couple of low power channels over the air, and we needed content. And so that became a way to do content. So it was all started, we all did it on television.
How does that work? Because, that would be a dream for me. I can't not stop coming up with content. How do I buy my own TV show?
Well, you have to buy your own channel, and then you can do whatever you want to do with it. There are several OTAs available for purchase. They're not cheap. Sometimes you have to wind up making a good deal with the owner of the station. But the trick, if you were to do that, you need to figure out how to broadcast it. And that requires a platform from somebody who can do a URL, send it to the computer that is running the station. And we had 24/7, so it became an easy, once we had content. You can always, though, Jimmy, if you have content, your own show, you can always go to what are the sub-channels on some of the stations in your area, and they will allow you to send them content, and they will insert it on their channel.
So they're not going to give you like the whole big guys thing of unsolicited material. They'll actually look at it.
Right.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I have did 160 some movies, man, and they're just, when you make something and nobody gets to see it, it's like it's not breathing.
Right.
And I mean, not everything's good, but then again, everybody's opinions is completely different. So one person will love one thing and another person will love another one.
Yeah, they're just sitting there gathering digital dust.
Yeah.
When you do a television show, you normally have to wind up with either 22 and a half minutes of actual content if you're going to sell advertising in it.
Do you have to find the people that want to do the commercials?
Oh, yeah.
That's where I'm going to fail. Because marketing, I don't even put my movies in film festivals because I just make one after another, and promoting and marketing is, definitely not my strong suit.
So you don't submit to any film festivals, Jimmy?
Not unless they come I've been in a few, but they came after me and they pretty much waived the film fee, and I was like, go ahead and take it. I was talking to another filmmaker. My biggest problem is, people make a movie and go into promoting it and putting it in the film festivals and all that, to where by the time I get to that point, I already started something else, and my focus is on something else. And film festivals, you submit it, could be 6 months to a year before you hear. That's even if you get into it. And by that time, I'm already on to the next 5 projects. I know it's not the the right way to do things. Test of Our Love, Alien, Parasite.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have, my point is, I wouldn't have all these movies if I actually made a movie and then went out there and tried to promote it, and that I wouldn't have all these other gems. At the same time, maybe I wouldn't be sitting here,
Right.
So,
well, I have been a judge in a couple of film festivals, and it's always, interesting to see the variety of movies that are submitted. I couldn't get involved. I couldn't get, into the movie. It didn't make sense to me. I mean, there's all sorts of things.
Yeah.
But
you want to hear? You want to hear a funny one?
Sure.
Okay. I don't know if I should tell this, but I don't really care. I'm an open book, guys. And the movie was good, and the movie was funny, and I didn't win anything. Well, I found out years later why. Okay, because I didn't think I knowingly did this, and I think you'll take humor in this. Well, let's just say at the end of the movie, I basically mooned the camera, and I found out that the judges took it as Jimmy was saying "F you." You
Right.
know, none of you guys are. Which I don't know. Maybe at the time I was. I don't think I was, but they took it like what you were saying. All the judges, there's a lot of different opinions, so there's a lot of different things of, hey, I like this, I didn't like that. So it's basically a lottery. It's not really about the best one. You got a couple people choosing. But apparently I ticked off the people that were here. And not
Yeah.
knowingly. I didn't find out until years later. I was like, yeah, maybe I did. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't want to take up a lot of your time, but I appreciate your time, buddy.
Thank you, Jimmy. Have a good day.
You too.